Lucas, I want to start by asking, because I know you're here on behalf of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and we hear you're pretty hardcore into it, not just a rep. So I'd love to know more. I'd love to know more about your relationship to the Call of Duty games and exactly how pumped you are for the launch.
Yeah, it goes back a while. My dad was in the industry. He actually worked for Electronic Arts, like the competitor back in the day. He made the Medal of Honor games, the old ones before Call of Duty took over. But my first memories, I was into first person shooters forever. And I remember when Call of Duty 4 came out. I might have been, 12, 13 years old. And I was just locked in from the get-go. I thought it was just the most fun thing ever. And then from there on out, I played damn near every title every single year when they came out. I was on console all through high school, playing on my Xbox 360 and Xbox One, PlayStation. But then once I got into pro ball, I got into PC gaming. I've been gaming on PCs, playing a lot of Warzone, a lot of the last couple titles that came out, Cold War, Vanguard, and now I'm super pumped because today's the day for Modern Warfare 2.
Oh yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to play through it at all yet?
I've been playing the campaign. Yeah, so I got the pre-order and everything, so I had that early access to the campaign. I want to say I'm close to the end. I've been playing the last couple days, and it's a hell of a campaign, man. What a narrative. I love the voice acting. I love the cutscenes. Yeah, the missions, there's that creativity in each mission. You have the stealth, now you got the driving missions, and I had a lot of fun that one where you're like the C-130 dropping the bombs. But yeah, I'm not quite finished with it yet. There was just a big twist, and so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But I don't want to give it away to anybody that's gonna listen to this hasn't played yet.
Yeah, we'll keep that locked down. Obviously, a game like this is a great way to keep in touch with friends who might not be in the same city anymore, and for pro ball players, that goes doubly. Which other pro players do you play with the most? And of your usual compatriots, who is the absolute worst? Who is just terrible at this game?
Come on, man. You make me answer that question. Man, saying the worst is tough.
You don't have to. Just who do you play with the most?
I play a lot with teammates, so guys on my team. I'd say the most I've played Call of Duty with Warzone wise, because that's kind of what guys are super into, the battle royale. Carlos Rodon, he's not a teammate anymore, but he's still a good friend of mine. He's super into Rebirth. His stats on Rebirth are just crazy. He's got, I think, well over 1,000 wins on Rebirth. The best I've ever seen of pro baseball player skill wise is Willie Calhoun. He does wager tournaments. He streams, and I think he's like a 3+ KD. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm a mouse and keyboard guy though. So, there's some advantages to that, but there's a lot of disadvantages. I know that with the aim assists on controllers, so, the close range fighting, a lot of guys have me beat there, but there's a lot of talented Call of Duty players in baseball, that's for sure.
Yeah, because every time you go into a locker room, you get to see these guys sitting at their lockers. They're all looking at their screens and playing. I've noticed that for a few years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw this past season. I'm not a huge mobile gamer, like phones and tablets. I'm more PCs, consoles, things like that. But Joe Kelly pulled out his iPad, and he had a Bluetooth controller for it, and he was playing Call of Duty Mobile, and I was blown away by how good the game looked. Because iPads, they only have processors, right? There's no graphics unit in there. and the game just like looked smooth. Like it was running at probably like 60 FPS, looking really good. Yeah, it's a, that's a whole other thing. If I got into like mobile gaming, then I'd have to slow down. That'd be too much for me.
Yeah, it's good to keep that balance. But like shifting to baseball, I gotta ask you, like, what's your off-season plan? And like how nice is it to like actually like, have a normal off-season and no lockout again?
Yeah, yeah. Last year was definitely stressful. I'm our union rep for the team, so I was involved in a lot of calls, and once we got into that crunch time, we started missing time, and it got very difficult. I'm glad that we ended up resolving and having a good season, but yeah, this off season, I'm looking to be able to focus a lot more on like my development as a player. My last season didn't go the way I wanted it to performance wise. So I have a lot of things that I have on deck to kind of correct and get myself in a more consistent place so I can get back to, what I want to do playing at the highest level next season. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to build a new PC. I'm going to enjoy Call of Duty, this new title. Obviously, Warzone 2 when that releases in about a month or so, or less.
Think so, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that in the downtime. I just got out of the water. I was just surfing with some buddies. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff to do.
Nice. And you had a ton of momentum, like you mentioned, sort of coming out of September into the offseason. I assume your pitching coach, Ethan Katz, is a huge part of that offseason plan and sort of maintaining that momentum on the mound. But you guys go way back, way before the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
How many times a week in that locker room do you and Ethan kind of look at each other and just go like, can you believe we're both still in Major League Baseball on the same team?
Those days are over. When he got hired, it was kind of like a little bit of that, but then it was like all business, man. It's all business. He was my pitching coach in high school. I credit the work he did with me then, getting me from just being like a talented kid to a prospect and a complete pitcher. We put in a lot of work together, but when he came over to be our pitching coach, like, he's not just responsible for me. He's got a whole roster of guys, that he has to work with. And, it's all business, man. It's all business.
Yeah. And like, speaking of guys that you pitched with in high school coming up, I mean, obviously you pitched with Jack Flaherty and Walker Buehler. What was that like? And for you, do you guys still like have a group chat together? And like, do you still stay in contact throughout the season?
Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Walker. I didn't pitch with him in high school though. Max Fried and Jack Flaherty. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, if Walker was on our team, then it would have been more ridiculous.
That would have been unbelievable.
No, yeah, Max. I just worked out with Jack this morning. Max is currently on vacation, but he'll be, after he gets a little bit more downtime. The Braves making the postseason year in and year out. He needs a little bit more time to decompress after a hell of a season he had. But no, we're all very close. We keep in contact during the year. We spend time together in the off season, train together, things like that. Yeah, it's the kind of stuff we talked about when we were in high school. Now we're living it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like quick follow-up if you don't mind. Like, have you guys ever talked about like playing together one day in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, we had conversations, especially our senior year. Max actually transferred to our high school for his senior year. I don't know if a lot of people know that. He wasn't there all 4 years. He transferred over because the high school he was at, actually, I think like they ended their sports program, and it's tough to be at a school that ends your sports program when you're a top prospect pitcher in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would have conversations like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if we were on the same team when we get to the big leagues, or if like we get to pitch against each other. Jack and I got the chance to do that 2 seasons ago. Like we actually had to start against each other at our place in the South Side. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We had a lot of family and friends come out for that. I've not pitched against Max yet, though. I'm the one thing I'm glad that they got rid of pitchers hitting, because like if we go to Atlanta and I give up like a hit or something to Max, like he'd never let me live that down.
No shot. If he gets a hit off you, you hit him with the next at bat, right?
Yeah, so I've already done that before. Back in high school, yeah, I hit him in the face by accident, and broke his nose. Yeah,
man.
yeah, that.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time I hit someone in the head, to be honest. I hope I never do it again.
Yeah, I'm knocking on this. I'm on a wooden table. Yeah, I'm knocking on it right now for you. I wrote a piece a couple years ago about that era of Harvard Westlake baseball, and I talked to your old teammate Connor Dillman, who told me, he said Lucas actually met his wife in my carpool. Is that true, or is Connor lying to me?
No, very true. Yeah, Connor's still a good friend of mine, by the way. He's out in England right now in art school. But yeah, Ariana and I, that's how we like initially, I'd say, like got to know each other a little bit. Like we were in the same grade. Like I'd met her like our freshman year before there even was a carpool. But it is true. Like Connor would pick Ari up because they lived on the same block, and then he would swing by and pick me up. And yeah, that it is very true. I had no game. I wasn't I had to crush on her, but yeah, there was no like attempt at anything. It took me a couple years to, kind of man up a little bit before I actually made my move.
Yeah, I love it. I freaking love it. Like, and like to switch gears, if you don't mind, you guys are obviously looking for a new manager. And I'm wondering how closely you follow that, and in your new manager, like what exactly would you like to see?
Ooh, yeah, it's I think it's a tough one because you think, okay, definitely want like experience coming from like maybe a winning culture or winning team, being able to instill that. I think for us, there's an importance of having that connection with Latino players. Yeah, it's kind of like a combination of those things. At the same time, it's not really my job to decide who the manager is. That's up to the front office. But I've been seeing some of the names kind of being thrown out there. I'm not paying too much attention to it right now. Like, a lot of stuff can be rumors and things like that. But I'm pretty pleased like with some of the names I'm seeing being thrown out there. Kind of fits that mold. So we'll see what happens.
So I guess you don't have like a particular guy that you'd want then?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And also like, because you have how many years left in your contract? Is it one?
One, yeah.
Have you talked to the White Sox about an extension at all?
No. Couple years ago there were some talks, but no, there hasn't been anything. And after the year I had last season, I don't really think that's on the table.
Well, I mean, like, and going into the free agent year, like, what are some of your biggest goals then? Like, as you would enter your free agent year?
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, performance wise, I would like to obviously be in a much better place physically than I was last season. I don't really set specific goals like numbers wise, because I don't want to be like in the middle of a season and then I'm like looking at my stats and it's like, oh yeah, I gotta like get X amount of strikeouts, or I need to like throw X amount. Like that kind of puts pressure on yourself. For me, it's like I love competing, and so I just want to put myself in the best position to be the best competitor, give our team a chance to win each time I take the ball. Like that's the starting pitcher's job. If I were to have like one statistic wise goal, it's I want to throw 200 or more innings. I still haven't done it yet. I really, really, really want to hit that 200 plus innings mark. So that requires staying healthy. It requires, being very consistent in your mechanics, your release points, so that you can throw a lot of strikes, you can go deep into games. And then, you have to be making quality pitches and having nice quick innings as well. I see it as like, if I'm pitching well enough to be throwing 200 or more innings, the other stats are probably going to take care of themselves. But it really is, for me, like, I'm very focused right now on getting my body in the right place, and then kind of translating all this work in the gym to now, I have some stuff like patterning wise, like with my throwing motion and things like that. The way my, it's like the whole chain, like from ground up. We're really digging into that, and we're going to get that into a good place so that, that consistency returns.
We wish you best of luck for sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why we're diehard fans of you, man, because you're all about the durability, the throwback ace type 200 inning stuff.
I know, man. I really want to get there. I really want to get there. So yeah, we're putting that work in this offseason.
Awesome. We can't wait. And we also want to thank you. We are huge Seinfeld fans. We know you have a family connection there too. So we can't let you leave without saying thank you to your entire family for being a part of that television masterpiece. But thank you so much for your time today, man. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.